and it's race night tonight in the Lehigh Valley. It's a beautiful evening in Nazareth, Pennsylvania, as we get set for race number 18 in the 2024 NR2003 Mission BBQ Cup Series season, the Tastykake 400, presented by Trains and Lanes Hobbies. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, lads of all ages, as we welcome you to the Nazareth Speedway with live coverage on North American Sim Racing Network, and up in the NSRN booth, my name is Trey Wright. 79 laps are on the schedule for tonight's race in the Valley, with 7 races to go in the regular season for the 2024 campaign of the MBCS. And I tell you what, the points were absolutely shaken up after a phenomenal race up north in the Poconos as we remain in the Keystone State for our Pennsylvania doubleheader this week. Logan Alexander winning the Jack Frost 400 up at the Pocono Raceway. More on that later, but taking a look at your point standings coming into today, and Igor Barreto back in the points lead in the 13 car, a mere 3 points ahead of Juan Rodriguez for the points lead. Matthew Hubert with his sub-20th place finish up at Pocono now falls back to third in the point standings, not by much though. He is only 13 points behind Igor Barreto and 10 behind Juan Rodriguez, so that is the battle for the regular season championship right there. Then you go to Roberto Crown Jr. and Brennan Wilmington rounding out your top 5 of the points. And once again, the bubble drivers beneath the top 5 in points: Dylan Matthews, John Andrews, Alexandre Vitale, Toby Murphy, and Riley Sampson with his good run at the Pocono Raceway on Saturday. Now sits 10th in the point standings, 20 points ahead of Derek Hamill, who is right now on the outside looking in points-wise. But taking a look at your wildcard standings right now, Logan Alexander with his second win of the season at the Pocono Raceway is now essentially, unless we have another multi-time winner in 2024, that 58 car is probably going to be the first wild card spot with his 2 wins on the season, and Derek Hamill currently holds the other one, although he has a 26-point lead over Bradley Ream, who, if those two were swapped in the point standings, Ream would be the wild card driver coming into tonight. But still, 7 races to go in 2024. And again, this and Milwaukee are probably going to be the 2 most sane races we have. Nazareth, it's got 5 turns, just very flat here. We'll go into it during our parade laps, but then that in Milwaukee, the 2 flat tracks in the remaining schedule for the regular season, those are probably going to be our sane races. But then Bridgehampton in a couple days, Texas World, and then the final 4 races, Watkins Glen, Indy, Michigan, and Armory Digital. Those are all going to be absolutely insane, but we should have a good race here tonight. We've had a lot of fun races here in the past at the Nazareth Speedway. So what do you say we go and kickstart yet another one, because it's that time of the broadcast again, ladies and gentlemen. Let's go down trackside to get the most famous words in motorsports to kick off the Tastykake 400, presented by Trains and Lanes Hobbies.
Drivers, start your engines.
And the engines roar to life on the front stretch here in Nazareth, and we're just moments away from dropping the green flag for tonight's race. Owen Miles starts on the pole position in the 05. Keegan Thompson starts next to him to make up row number 1. Both Dracoan Racing cars starting inside the podium, with Logan Alexander in 3rd and Ryan Durrani taking 4th spot. And rounding out your top 5 on the starting grid is Derek Hamill, your Dover winner. He's alongside Logan Williams in 17 to make up your first 3 rows. And it looks like Mitchell Collins did not get a good start off of the grid, so we'll have an extra pace lap here. It'll be 79 laps around this .946 long mile Nazareth Speedway this evening at the house that Andretti built, Nazareth being the hometown of Mario Andretti and the home base of Andretti Autosport, the real-life NTT IndyCar Series. Pit window for tonight will be just past the halfway point around lap 50. And your 3 previous winners of the Tastykake 400 are Landon Smith Jr., John Andrews, and Nathan Smith. John Andrews is the lone returnee from that trio. There he is in the 44 car. He starts 26th on the grid here tonight. While he did not win the 400-mile race in 2020, funny enough, Mitchell Collins is a previous winner at the Nazareth Speedway in the MBCS. He won the John Andretti 350 in 2020. He starts shotgun on the field in 42nd. So last time by, the field was given the 1 to go signal. So in about 20 seconds, we'll let him loose for 79 laps here in Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, the second half of our Keystone doubleheader. In the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, pace car will make its way down the pit lane. Owen Miles and Keegan Thompson, both these drivers beneath the top 30 in points, would love to get a win here tonight to set themselves up for a good final 7-race run of the regular season. Here we are through the Reese's restart zone. The green flag is in the air. We're live for race 18 in Lehigh Valley. Ryan Durrani not wasting any time. What a move from the Las Vegas native, going from 4th to 1st in the span of a lap. Oh my, he absolutely stuffed it in there going into turn 3, and Owen Miles had no idea that 38 was going to be aggressive early on. And he's back on the rear end of this 38 Dodge's American Idiot machine. And he was, albeit driving a little bit like an idiot there on lap 1, but it paid off. He was able to make it stick. Owen Miles looking for the race lead back. He'll cross over back on the inside lane onto the back straightaway here at this flat Nazareth Speedway. Logan Alexander falling back in that 58 car. And back in the race lead is the 05 as Derek Hamill will stick his nose in there as well, and he'll take second away from Durrani, who's pinched up high on that outer lane. So the gamble early on for Durrani paid off. He was able to lead a couple of laps, able to get those 5 bonus points, but Owen Miles back out front in the 05. Miles right now is sitting 35th in the points, and would love to have a good run here, trying to salvage anything out of this regular season. Derek Hamill, winner of the Monster Mile last Wednesday, looking for his second win of 2024, as Logan Alexander right on the rear end of 98, currently sitting in 12th right now. Trying to get back into this battle. Corey Case, another driver, looking for his second win. He's currently on the outside looking in. He's able to get that second win. That would put him in the first wildcard spot, as for the race lead, Derek Hamill wants wildcard 1 as well. He'll move to the inside here, pole sitter, drag race down the back straightaway. And he'll roll through the corner in that 47. And the Tampa, Florida native out front here, looking to make it 3 races in a row, won by a Florida man. He won 2 races ago at the Monster Mile at Dover, like we said, and then Logan Alexander won at Pocono on Saturday. Owen Miles not done yet. He's going to cross over. He will DiGiorno stuffed crust pizza it into the corner as well. And Miles will say thank you very much for the crossover move, and move back out in that clean air. Both of these drivers not letting each other get away from them, and it's brought Corey Case to make it a menage a trois for the first 3 spots. Hamill once again on the rear bumper of Miles. Top 2 pulling away a little bit from the 63 and the 62. Brennan Wilmington, another driver, looking to snap a winless streak coming into tonight. A north of 350 races without a win in all of NR 2003. He's been close a couple of times the last couple of weeks. We'll see if he's got what it takes tonight. Try and get into victory lane for the first time in maybe a year and a half for this 62 crew. How about Zachary Fitzwater? Haven't seen a whole lot of him up front consistently this season, but here is Fitzy running in 5th. Looking to get that 99 back into victory lane where it was for 6 times with Madison Tall. Keegan Thompson, there he is in 14, trying to tie Tall's record, the all-time winningest driver in the MBCS. Zachary Fitzwater is the all-time winningest driver at 2003, so it's a little bit fitting. He's getting to drive that 99 car for NS Racing. The winningest car in the MBCS and the winningest driver in all of NR 2003. Combining as Brendan Wilmington will move underneath Corey Case for 3rd. And he'll set his sights on this top duo. Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet. Your top 5 as the field now starts to string out. You see Juan Rodriguez really struggling in that 48, did not get a good qualifying run. Matthew Hubert also he's actually ahead of Igor Barreto. If he's able to get around Charlie Davenport here, that would put Matthew Hubert as the points leader going into Bridgehampton on Wednesday. And already 13 laps into this race and battle for the race lead here. Hamill moves underneath Owen Miles. He will pinch the 05 up high. And Derek Hamill will lead his first lap of the evening as Miles trying to get back down to that lower lane. Will fall into the clutches of Brendan Wilmington moving on to the backstretch. These Toyotas have been really solid over the last couple of weeks as Wilmington will grapple an edge underneath Miles in the 05. Owen not giving it up though. Still hanging tough on the outside lane, but he'll finally relinquish the spot to Wilmington. Again, remember Wilmington was in position to potentially win the race at Dover last Wednesday. That was won by Derek Hamill, who was putting the sails out early here on lap 16. Toyota's up front, Ford, Toyota, Chevrolet, and Dodge, with all 4 manufacturers being represented in this top 6. Right now, the Tag Heuer fastest lap belonging to Brendan Wilmington. He is the fastest car on the racetrack. We'll work on lap 17 of 79. Owen Miles in hot pursuit of that second place spot once again. I'm starting to think he may have used up a tad bit of his stuff here, fighting for that lead with Derek Hamill and fighting in second on the outside with Brendan Wilmington. Again, it's a fairly balmy evening. The track temperature is colder than what it would be in the daytime, so we're not going to see tire wear coming to too much of a factor. But it is going to be fun to see these guys race around another as Miles doesn't care about saving his stuff. He'll move back down to the inside of Wilmington. Gonna go move there from the Rochester native. He's back up to second. That time around, Hamill able to take advantage of the cars fighting for the penultimate spot, and he's able to open his gap by another 10th there. Half a second ahead of Owen Miles down the back straightaway. Riley Sampson now in the back end of this field. Same thing with Dylan Matthews. Checking back up in here with some of these bubble drivers. Roberto Crown Jr. He's 4th right now. He's right behind Igor Barreto. And Barreto right now would still have a 3-point lead over Matthew Hubert. Coming out of tonight. Although Brennan Wilmington is only 105 points ahead. These guys, they're fighting for about 15th or 20th. If Brennan's able to get up there, lead some laps, and continues to have the fastest lap, I'd say Wilmington might be able to potentially get up there, maybe third in the point standings. I believe he'll definitely be third, given where Rodriguez is running right now in the 48. Car of Nathan Orman will cross underneath him. Orman actually using up a lot of the 48 going outside. And Roberto's, he's having a decent run. Again, Brennan, you would pass him in the points, given where he's running right now. So I think Brennan Wilmington might be able to, I think he'd be able to, right now, Brennan would be up in third, potentially, yeah, third of the points right now would be Brennan Wilmington. Nico Barreto at the moment would retain the points lead. He's getting a shot there on the back straightaway from Keegan Thompson was Ryan Durrani. And Keegan giving him a little bit of a love door slam going through the corner. I'm sure he did not appreciate how Durrani raced him on lap 1 of 79. And Ryan will surrender outside of the top 6. With Derek Hamill continuing to lead, Corey Case has been able to get back around Brendan Wilmington. Zachary Fitzwater and Keegan Thompson now fighting with each other. It's a familiar sight for Thompson with that 99 car in front of him. Oh, and Brennan Wilmington overcooked turn 1. Doesn't look like to have too much damage in the 62, but he definitely pounded that outside safer barrier. And he's going to lose a couple of spots here to the 99 and the 14, potentially to Durrani and Sampson as well. And now Brennan Wilmington going the opposite direction. Not what you wanted to see if you're a fan of this 62 crew. See Durrani now moving underneath him as he just tries to get his momentum back. This is a momentum-based racetrack, and once you hit that outside wall, it is very hard to regain your ground. And the last 2 laps, Wilmington dropping back 3 spots as Cole Sampson also just about overcooks it going through 1. But it's been smooth sailing in the first third of this race for this 47 crew. Derek Hamill looking for 2 wins in 2024. In the first half of this season, not been good for your 2022 champion. You know, we're like, hey, he's toward the midway through the points. You know, he was able to get in the Duncan weakest speed. He only lasted, I believe, 1 round, 1 or 2. And, you know, championship aspirations weren't exactly the name of the game, but, you know, Dover, Derek turning on the jets, and here tonight, he's been driving the heck out of that 47 car. Able to widen his gap by just a slim margin there, but it's still a margin. Hamill looking to throw everything, including the kitchen sink, out here looking for a second win to lock himself into the chase. And that would send everybody that's won a race that's on that cut line into a panic. Guys like Bradley Ream, Will Parrish, Danny Fallington, Logan Williams, also another guy on that cut line. But also drivers like Riley Sampson, who's right now probably going to be on the outside looking in. He's just battling for 41st with Matt Wolf. Roberto Crown Jr., if he has a bad stretch of races, you know, John Andrews, Alexandre Vitale, guys that have not won yet, you know, might put them at risk. They have less than desirable runs. We've seen Alexandre Vitale he had a decent race at Pocono, but not having a good run here tonight. Neither is John Andrews in the 44, currently sitting 30th. All these drivers want to make the chase as Derek Hamill got really squirrely coming out of the corner. Closing in there by a quarter of a second was the 05. Owen Miles looking to set up a charge on Hamill here. Completing 32 of 79 in the Tastykake 400. It's been caution-free so far as the field strings out. Not a whole lot of side-by-side racing. There's Braden Perez. Perez, another driver who, he created a Daytona 500 champion. He was in the top 10 for most of the time, but now he is really, really fallen. Guys like Fallington, Eric Monaco hasn't really been a factor. Again, Bradley Ream, like we said, Roberto Crown Jr. Even Igor Barreto's not safe. Nobody's locked into the chase yet. Not even Logan Alexander. Unless he's able to get a third win, like we said, then he'll essentially be locked in. But again, nobody is safe. There's nowhere to run and nowhere to hide. That's going for Derek Hamill, who has got a mirror full of a DoorDash Ford right on his rear end. I think Owen Miles might be able to set up a charge here before pit stops in the next 15 laps or so. And Braden Perez, like we said, he's 16th in the standings. Corey Case is 17th. He's another driver that's gonna need a good run. And he's having a good run so far. He's definitely cooled off a little bit over the last few weeks, especially with the Duncan Week of Speed. But I think he would definitely love to use tonight as a little bit of a springboard into a solid couple of races over the course of the next few weeks. Because again, Saturday afternoon, we got Bridgehampton. Owen Miles continues to go on the rear bumper, and there he is making his move. Into turn 2, drag race down the back, side by side. Owen Miles will have the preferred line going into the corner. And Hamill had to get way out of the gas. He's going to lose a lot of his momentum. And Owen Miles back out in front on lap 38. Look at that, Owen Miles is right now one of only 2 Fords up inside this top 10. How about this run so far for Charlie Davenport? Haven't seen a whole lot of the Fort Lauderdale native. Here he is, right now running in the 9th spot under fire from Cole Sampson. Sampson might get to the inside of him really soon as Brandon Wilmington continues to drop back. He has lost another few positions to Ryan Durrani and Zachary Fitzwater. This time by halfway home for the Tastykake 400, cross flags displayed as Derek Hamill on the back bumper of Owen Miles once again. Here about 10 laps away from the pit cycle opening up. Derek on the rear end of this 05 car once again, nose to tail, the 05 and the 47. Miles looking to fend him off. As we're talking about Bridgehampton this Saturday, Hamill goes wide to the corner. So there goes that battle for the front. Before we get into our future schedule, Owen Miles is leading. We're past the halfway point, so it's time for a Twisted Tea race break. So let's go through the field, presented by Fram. So Owen Miles leads here in the Tastykake 400. Derek Hamill is second, Corey Case third, Keegan Thompson fourth. Rounding out your top 5 is Ryan Durrani, Fitzy sixth, seventh is Logan Williams, 8th, Brandon Wilmington, 9th, Charlie Davenport, and rounding out the top 10, Cole Sampson. 11th is Matthew Huber, 12th, Alex Lozano, 13th, Logan Alexander, 14th, Roberto Crown Jr., 15th, Igor Barreto, 16th, Skylar Taylor, 17th, Caleb Rose, 18th, Dano Georgi, 19th, Bradley Ream, and rounding out the top 20, Reggie Fogelman in the 12. Rounding out the top half of the field is Eric Monaco in 21st. Then it's Nathan Stapleton in 22nd, 23rd, Trey Smith, 24th, Danny Fallington, 25th, Angel Gutierrez, 26th, Nathan Orman, 27th, Tony B. Murphy, 28th, Justin Zidell, 29th, Braden Perez, and 30th, John Andrews. 31st, Will Parrish, 32nd, Cam Garlington, 33rd, Juan Rodriguez, 34th, Alex Sanvitale, Daniel Bouchard is in 35th, 36th, Thomas Troxel, 37th is Dylan Matthews, in 38th we find Tyler Reynolds, 39th is Ethan Lewis, and rounding out the top 40, Mitchell Collins. 41st is Riley Sampson, and in P42, 42 of Matt Wolf. Rounding out your full field rundown for your Twisted Tea race break. Brennan Wilmington back out front, or Brennan Wilmington has the fastest lap. He's definitely not out front after sustaining damage, and that team might have to pull a fender off under this next pit stop here, the next 5 or so laps. So we'll see what the deal is with Wilmington, but up front it is still Owen Miles. Looking to go wire to wire in the 05. And we'll also might need to make a couple of repairs on the pit lane. That might open the door for Corey Case to take second away. Keegan Thompson, don't count him out. Start on the outside pole. Fell back a little bit early on, but he's been slowly but surely chugging his way back up to the front. Him, Ryan Durrani, and Zachary Fitzwater. I'd say basically everybody in this top 6 has an opportunity to potentially get something done here. Tag here, fastest lap, like we said, was Brennan Wilmington, and like we said, we're about 3 to 5 laps away from finding out who will have the Valvoline fastest pit stop of the day. Seeing how these teams will do on the money stop in the late stages of the Tastykake 400. I know it's been a long time coming for Owen Miles. Having one win is in his MBCS career, that coming at Indianapolis back in 2021. Would love to get both of his cars into Gatorade victory lane 2 weeks in a row at that. Tricoen Racing having a little bit of a renaissance. You know, new sponsors for both of these cars. DoorDash for the 05 and Pepsi Zero Sugar for the 58. There's Logan Alexander. Again, the only multi-time winner this season. And his drivers, we're hearing they're going to come down potentially within the next 3 laps. Do you have any takers this time around? No, we do not. We've got under 20 to go in the Tastykake 400, so it's gonna get interesting here with the pit stops imminently commencing in the next couple of moments. Nobody's gonna come down this time around. See if any of these back markers decide to hit the pit lane, but no takers. Miles will continue to lead the field around, and everybody still staying out. Looks like these guys are going to go a little bit longer on their numbers, so I imagine everybody's going to potentially come in at the same time. Miles looking for career win number 2. Derek Hamill looking for career win number 3, and as he's right on the back bumper of Owen Miles. And still, nobody down the pit lane yet. You know, the longer they wait to come on this pit lane, more interesting it's going to be these guys. You know, getting up to speed, and this is where we can see some shenanigans occur. Still no takers. They do have to come down eventually. And now there it is. Here's the first salvo. That was Zachary Fitzwater coming down, and we can hear the field is going to come down potentially this lap or the next. And here comes Owen Miles. He will come down along with Derek Hamill. Looks like Corey Case will stay out. Owen Miles overcooks the entrance. Derek Hamill will pass him. Miles trying to come down the pit lane. He overcooked it, but he was able to stay on. And Derek Hamill on the undercut will potentially have the race lead. That was a mistake out of Miles off of a very tricky pit lane to get down. And Derek Hamill will lead the field here onto the service area. We'll see if anybody elects to take 2 tires, and it was Derek Hamill. 2-tire pit stop for the 47, and he is going to come out in front of the 05. Now we'll see if these guys on the overcut do a similar strategy. Some damage on the passenger side of Angel Gutierrez. Logan Alexander coming down. See if anybody else overcooks it, but that was a costly mistake for Owen Miles, and that may have just cost him the win there. In the late stages of this one, as the rest of the field will come down the pit lane, and Ryan Durrani might cycle out to be second. Owen Miles will cycle fourth, and Derek Hamill, Derek's getting his lap back here, but I believe that 47 will come out onto the race lead. So we see some debris on the pit lane. But now in the late stages, we could have a yellow that will jumble this whole field up. Back up front at the line. It's showing it was Reggie Fogelman. Fogelman is somewhere on the track, and he is just coming off now. I believe Derek Hamill's in front of him in the 47. Yes, he is. Should cycle out to Derek Hamill being the race leader with 10 to go. Well, now with 20 to go. It was around 30 to go, now it's 20 to go, and Derek Hamill does in fact have the lead. A 2-second lead over Ryan Durrani. We saw Hamill play the pit strategy last season at Auto Club, and now here he is in this 47 car. He's got to get around the 24 of Riley Sampson. But again, you got to feel really, really bad for Owen Miles. You know, nothing that he did there, unfortunately. And it looks like Justin Zidell was, I believe he was the only car to take 4 tires. We'll double check that. Although, actually, there's a lot of damage on the front end of that 78, so it doesn't look like anybody took 4 tires. There's a couple of cars swerving out of control, but they're able to keep it straight for now. With under 20 laps to go here. Derek Hamill's now got to pick between himself and Ryan Durrani. And if you're Logan Alexander, this is worst case scenario. If you're everybody else in the chase bubble, this is worst case scenario. Derek Hamill out front. Durrani continuing to fall back, and this is exactly what Derek did at Dover. You know, we did see that pit strategy on the caution flag, but this is what Derek is able to do. He's able to have a good pit strategy, and he just runs away from everybody. And Durrani not being able to close in there is Owen Miles actually in third, is Dano Georgi being scored 1 lap down at the moment. Still hasn't been a caution here tonight. That could change in the next 15 laps. Durrani right now. Hey, he's able to close in a 1/10 of a second there. Fastest lap still, Brennan Wilmington. So the way these guys are running right now, there'll be 5 bonus points. For Wilmington, at least, is a little bit of a consolation prize. However, he did not have a good stop, and I believe he is all the way down to 41st. He had to repair the damage on that pit stop. I believe he may have got caught up in something else as well. You see a little bit of front-end damage on that Lumen Toyota. And the bad night continues to get worse. That time by, the race lead still holding at 1.8 seconds. We'll see if anything changes this time around. Durrani at the stripe. He lost a 1/10 of a second there to Hamill, so I don't know if Derek's going to be able to catch up to this 42 of Wolf. As Roberto Crown Jr. also did not have a good pit stop. He is last. It's not good for, it's really not good if you're Crown Jr. Because again, you're one of those drivers that's around the cut line. You know, not having a good run like this when you're trapped a lap down, you know. The overcut almost never works. It sometimes works on a road course, but at a flat short track like this, the undercut's not going to work. Keegan Thompson will move past Logan Williams. That's the battle for 6th. And the lead continues to increase, now up to 2 seconds for Hamill. So next time by will be 10 laps to go from Nazareth. Still the possibility of a yellow flag. Although at this point in the race, I don't know if there would be, you know, not a whole lot of side-by-side racing. There's Nathan Stapleton, who's moving on top of the 48. John Andrews will get around him with ease, but these drivers are still on old right or left side tires. They're on old right side tires, rather, so again, they're not going to be setting any laps, and they're not going to be on top of one another, wrecking each other. A little bit of contact up in there, some debris on the track. Not sure who that was from. Hamill will continue to roll through the corner. It could be something like that. You know, NR has thrown debris cautions before. They are few and far between, but they can happen. The gap now down to 1.9, but Ryan Durrani is running out of time as Derek Hamill looking to put the city of Tampa, Florida in victory lane for the 3rd straight week. And this would completely blow things up. You know, again, Derek Hamill would not even need the wild card spot because he came in tonight 11th in the point standings. He would probably be up inside the top 10. So now, with Logan Alexander and a couple other guys, you know, potentially knocking on the door of a second win, everybody's going to be hoping that Derek Hamill stays up inside the top 10 in points. Coming around to 5 to go this time by. It looks like we're going to get a caution-free race at Nazareth. Not be the first time, as 5 count 'em 5 to go for Derek Hamill in this 47 car. Looking for career win number 4. He won at Dover 1 week ago, and a week later, looking for win number 2 of the season. He takes 4 to go at the stripe. Durrani still way too far out back. He's able to close in 100th, but that is not nearly enough time for Derek Hamill to get back out front, or for Durrani to mount a charge on this 47 car. There'll be a lot to be desired for Owen Miles, looking for that second win still. But it does not look like tonight will be the night. A mistake on pit lane. His one mistake of the evening is going to cost him the win here tonight as way high up the racetrack goes the 63. Still a good run for Corey Case, looking to get back in this wild card discussion. With Roberto Crown Jr. falling as deep as he did, we'll see where Barretto and Hubert are. There's Hubert right now in 13th, and Igor Barretto is fighting for 19th, so Hubert will have the points lead going into Bridgehampton. The popsicle sticks are in the air, 2 laps to go. And this time by, white flag in the air, one more time around the Nazareth Speedway for Derek Hamill. He's got no comers behind him. Durrani 2 seconds behind. Down the back straightaway for the final time. He has been on fire for the last 2 weeks, and he rounds turns 3 and 4. Checkered flag waving in the Lehigh Valley air. It'll go to Tampa, Florida's Derek Hamill with win number 2 of 2024. And that'll slingshot Hamill up into the top 10 in points. He's putting together a whale of a final 7 races of this regular season. It was final 8 races, now 7 races to go. With tonight being completed, Derek Hamill will trundle down the pit lane, a winner, once again, in the NBCS. Ryan Durrani, after having a hot start, finishes second on the grid. Owen Miles, the dominant car of the evening, able to salvage third. Corey Case fourth, and Zachary Fitzwater, your top 5. Keegan Thompson, Logan Williams, Alex Lozano, Cole Sampson, and Caleb Rose, your top 10. And a lot of guys finishing off of the lead lap. Riley Sampson, Brenna Wilmington, and Roberto Crown Jr., your notable drivers, finishing 1 lap down. But everybody was able to finish the race. A caution-free event at Nazareth. 37 cars on the lead lap at the end of tonight. And again, these next 7 races are going to be very interesting after tonight. With Derek Hamill winning, he gets his 2nd win of the season, but he's in the top 10 in points. If he falls outside the top 10 in points, that is where the wild card drivers, guys like Bradley Ream, Will Parrish, now Riley Sampson, who's going to fall outside the top 10 after tonight, guys that are on that bubble that with only a win, if Derek Hamill's outside, he is essentially going to have a spot locked up. And again, if I'm Logan Alexander, now I'm panicking because, with Derek Hamill getting a win, who's to say that a guy like Bradley Ream or Roberto Crown Jr., heck, even Will Parrish, he's been good at the road courses, they could potentially get a win here in the next couple of weeks. So tonight really made things interesting. It didn't change a whole lot with Derek Hamill now being in the top 10 in points, but that 47 car going to victory lane here tonight, it shakes up a lot of possibilities going forward, and whatever happens, happens, but oh boy, it is going to be very interesting going into the next 7 races, especially Saturday's race up in Long Island. We've been around the tri-state area for the last couple of races, and we're going to go all the way into the Empire State for our first road course race in a couple of weeks. We had our 2nd road course race of the season with Willow Springs and Papyrus, although Papyrus doesn't really count as a road course. But I guess by technicality, our 3rd road course of the season at the Bridgehampton Race Circuit, the Barstool Sports Long Island Grand Prix, this Saturday, July 20th. here on the NASRN. But that is going to do it here from the Nazareth Speedway. Congratulations once again to Derek Hamill for winning the Tastykake 400 presented by Trains and Lanes Hobbies. Like we said, we'll see you Saturday afternoon up in Sag Harbor, New York for the Barstool Sports Long Island Grand Prix. Coverage from Bridgehampton starting at noon Eastern right here on the NASRN. Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, ladies and gentlemen. Here are your point standings after race 18 of the 2024 NR2003 Mission Barbecue Cup Series season. And from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, on behalf of the North American Sim Racing Network, my name is Trey Wright. Have a great evening, folks.